One Soul Rock is prized there for Peter. One Genesect prized for Nicholas. Again, both Pokemon, both decks, very different, but very similar at the same time. Really depend on some key support Pokemon. Genesect for the Mew, Lunatone for Peter, and just having a couple of one of them prized shouldn't hurt too much.
Absolutely.
But here we go.
Yeah, here we go indeed. This is our Swiss round 7 here. Nicholas versus Peter here. Peter's first time on stream. That's so hype. I can't get over it. But over here on Nicholas's side, we do see that Battle VIP pass. So even though one is hiding in the prize cards, we do see one fresh out of first turn hand here for Nicholas, which is huge for Mew VMAX. You want to see all of those Pokemon. You need to see the draw engines start chugging away for Nicholas's side of the field. I mean, we've seen so many Mew VMAX on the stream here. I'm sure people are pretty familiar with it, but that is a powerful deck, I gotta say that much.
Exactly. I've been saying this all night long. If you start a Battle VIP pass on your first turn, you know you're having a good time against such a powerful card. The question is, though, what else is he playing with the Mew VMAX? You talked about it earlier today, you know.
And we
what
see it
tech are you playing?
We see it in the Rotom phone there. We saw that,
Aerodactyl?
Yes, the Aerodactyl V in off of that Rotom phone there. Well, that's not what was selected, but that is that high advanced technology there in Nicholas's list here. Of course, not really applicable for this matchup, but yeah, that is the type of deck we're going to be seeing at least here. Of course, the double turbo version of Mew VMAX as well. It's pretty rare we see the fusion energy builds, but it does pop up from time to time. But hey, that is a pretty okay setup here on Nicholas's side of the field. We got a couple Pokemon down. We're over here on Peter's side now. I know that the stream chat is probably just going wild here, seeing a Lunatone Soul Rock deck. So
gotta give it up too for Peter, just having the most beautiful art of the Soul Rock and Lunatone. Absolutely love it. If you guys aren't familiar with Soul Rock and Lunatone, these are two Pokemon that work hand in hand.
Two rocks. I guess one's like a rock moon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One's a sun rock, one's a rock moon.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, exactly. They're both rocks, and they rock. Oh my gosh. Stop me, Wancho.
But yes, Soul Rock here has the ability Sun Energy, so it accelerates energy from the discard pile, but only to Lunatone, and Lunatone can attack there. Does 30 damage. It does Moon Kinesis, 30 plus 30 for each Psychic Energy there. So that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Peter's only playing a single prize deck. It's pretty straightforward here. He's going to have a lot of Lunatones, a lot of Soul Rocks in play, power up Lunatone fairly easily each and every turn. And it's just a matter of, can he wear down Nicholas's board? You know, Nicholas is playing a VMAX V deck, so he's giving up 2 to 3 prizes. It's just a matter of, can he wear it down?
Yeah, I remember when this deck was popular and you would play the online Pokemon trading card game, and this is all you would see. I absolutely despise this deck because every single round I was playing against this deck over and over and over again. So this is pretty much my nightmare being played out on the stream here today. But honestly, Peter taking it to this tournament, this is a highly not anticipated deck here. So I'm sure, you know, Nicholas seeing a Soul Rock being flipped over for the start of the turn from Peter's side, Nicholas has got to be thinking, okay, how am I going to play against this now?
Exactly. I mean, Nicholas, I'm sure, has been thinking of matchups left and right. That's what Mew does, right?
Yeah, but not this one.
Mew has evolved to the point where it's playing a lot of counters. That's why we see the Aerodactyl V, Aerodactyl V-Star, which isn't going to matter in this matchup. But yeah, it's playing a lot of counters, but you're not playing a counter for this. So now you're just playing straight Mew. And is that enough? Can I get away with a win against the Soul Rock and Lunatone? Something Nicholas must be thinking of is, you know, Mew VMAX has 310 HP.
Yes.
That's a lot of HP. You're going to need quite a bit of energy there on the Lunatone. I'll do the math in a minute, but...
yeah, that's a lot of math we're going to be doing for sure in this match here.
Yes. Lunatone there does have another attack, Cycle Draw.
Yes.
Good attack there. I mean, something Lugia V-Star has as well. Discard an energy, draw 3. So not too bad.
Yep, absolutely, and that's what we're going to see from Peter's side of the field and back over to Nicholas's side of the field now. We do see that Lost City come down for this turn, which is actually huge for Nicholas. Lost City, of course, if any Pokemon on the field is knocked out, it does not go to the discard pile, it goes to the Lost Zone, which is ginormous for a tech here for Nicholas, because if Peter starts losing these Pokemon, is not able to retrieve them out of the discard pile with things like Rescue Carrier or Narod, things like that, then he's going to run out of attackers.
Yes, he could run out of attackers, he could run out of the support Pokemon.
Yes, the support too.
Velocity is not good. And you pair that up with a judge limiting Peter's option to deal with the Lost City, because he has to deal with it immediately. He can't afford to lose too many Pokemon to the Lost Zone. And so Judge, perfect play there by Nicholas.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of disruption from Nicholas' side of the field. Of course, luckily for Peter, there are several there is one in the prize cards, a Pokestop, but there are 2 more Pokestop in deck on Peter's side of the field. I do not see one in hand so far from that Judge.
He still has a pretty okay grip, though.
Yeah,
he has trekking shoes that helps dig through the deck. Serena can help dig through the deck.
Potentially Greninja if there's an energy somewhere down the line.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I'm sure they want it in hand right now. Nicholas there grabbing another Mew. Something Nicholas could do in this matchup as well is really utilize, again, I've mentioned it earlier, the HP on the Mew VMAX, and if it takes a couple of hits, you can always safely Psychic Leap back into
I was about to say that, yeah. It's not too often we see Psychic Leap being the option for the move that is presented to us, but hey, that might be a time where we're going to see some leaping back into that deck from our Mew. So yeah, that's that Mew V coming out from the Ultra Ball, and then we're going to see a Quick Ball discarding the Cremomatic here to bring out another Genesect onto the field, so that's going to allow Nicholas to draw into even more cards once this hand has been dwindled down enough, and that's going to be right now. So here we go, Fusion Strike system. I believe that was like 2-3 cards from that Fusion Strike system. We're going to go back into the deck with a Rotom Phone, look at top 5 cards, choose one, put it back on to the top of the deck.
Looks like he opted for an Ultra Ball there to the top. I don't think he can draw anymore, so just, Ultra Ball is a great card. Again, just find your next attacker, potentially maybe find another Genesect, but if in my mind...
in your hands.
For sure. In my mind, I think here Nicholas is going to want a third Mew, again, because you want to pivot between 2 Mew VMAXs, just have a third one to, again, potentially Psychic Leap. The Solrox and Lunatones only have 90 HP, and, well, one of them's now in the Lost Zone.
Yes, and that is huge. Like we've mentioned, Peter needs to find a way to get rid of this Lost City Stadium card between these players as quickly as possible, because that Lunatone is going straight into the Lost Zone here, and we are back just getting through the deck here off of, I believe this was a Quick Ball.
Yes, I believe that was Quick Ball discarding. I couldn't tell if that was a... No, it was a Pokemon. I couldn't tell if it was a Lunatone or a Solrock. Again, the art is very similar. If you only see the corner.
Yeah.
And looks like they are quick balling, though, for a Lunatone. And again, something of note, they do have a Rescue Carrier in hand. Unfortunately, you can't rescue a Pokemon from the Lost Zone, but maybe that's why they opted to discard one from the hand with the Quick Ball.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're able to get it back, then you are preserving other cards in hands that you might need to hang on a little bit more. Tracking Shoes being activated now, you get to look at the top card and either keep it or discard it and draw another card. At that point, it was going to be Quick Ball discarded to opt for another card. Did you see the last card that was drawn?
It was drawn it was a Marnie, so a little bit of a better supporter than Serena, probably.
Yeah.
It still nets you 5 cards. You get to see 5 cards into your deck no matter what, and it just has to be in the top 5. It has to be a stadium, and
that's what we need to see.
Yes, not only that. Looks like they're gonna opt for the Serena.
Ooh, it is gonna be the Serena. Yeah, so definitely dwindling down the hand here to draw back up with that Serena. It's back up to 5 total in the hand here for Peter. And what was drawn? There's another Pokemon here.
It's another Lunatone, and I don't see a stadium. He's also going to need scoop up nets to really make use of the Solrock, right? To really get energy acceleration in there, because he only has 2. He has a choice belt. Yeah, he does have the scoop up net, but again, without the stadium, this is going to be another Lunatone that's going to the Lost Zone.
That's definitely tough, but still doing everything possible. course, those Soul Rock, that ability being utilized here. And then, yeah, as Wancho mentioned, the Scoop Up Net does reset it. So that's going to be 3 Soul Rock used for the turn, which is going to accelerate all of those Psychic Energy out of the discard pile here for Peter. Choice Belt being placed on to that Lunatone as well. It can deal it, but it can't take any damage from the Choice Belt. But it's definitely dealing more there to that Mew VMAX.
Exactly, with just 3 energy attached on the Lunatone. Again, it's 30 plus 30 for each Psychic plus the Choice Belt. That's 150. That's fairly efficient.
It's a big chunk of change there for sure.
On a 1 prize Pokemon that you can accelerate energy to, you can really attack theoretically fairly easily if they're not in the Lost Zone.
Yes, and that's the key thing that we've been pointing out several times here, that Lost City is the only thing Peter wanted to be able to bump on the last turn, so that another Lunatone doesn't get lost to the Lost Zone here, but that is not what we're going to be able to see. Nicholas grinded through these Mew VMAX turns. Mew VMAX is just one of those decks where you get to draw, half of your deck in like 1 turn. But yeah, we're seeing that Fusion Strike system off of the first Genesect here.
We do see the Power Tablet being played right now, maybe signifying that this is a turn I'm going to jump, right?
Yeah.
Psychically does a base of 70 damage with the double turbo energy, only 50, however. So you're going to need at least 2 Power Tablets to take a knockout on a Lunatone, which that's not that much to ask for. We're no stranger to seeing Mew VMAXs going 4 Power Tablets, Choice Belt, 300 plus damage. Might as well Silene a couple back into the deck as well. So getting 2 Power Tablets should be very, very easy here. And
that's already 1 down, I believe, right there.
Yeah, and they still have a lot of draws.
Yes, Nicholas has a lot of draws for sure off of those Genesect. So as long as Nicholas is able to get the hand size down, there's always going to be that capability there from the Genesect.
I mean, not only that, too, he has access to something like this, the Cram-O-Matic. If you flip heads, you get to get anything you want. But he also has,
Forest Sealstone.
Yes, Forest Sealstone, the more straightforward way to do it, half a Starbirth.
Half a star, yeah, but obviously you want to save that for very pivotal moments as well. You want to, make those big game-winning plays with it if you can, but sometimes it does have to be utilized for more of a setup type situation too. So that is fully up to Nicholas and how he wants to play out this game. So yeah, again, just looking for that second Power Tap.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him to just use the V-Star to get the Power Tablet right here, right now. I mean, getting 150 damage out of the board, getting a Lunatone to the Lost Zone, it's pretty big. That's that would be a very pivotal turn in my opinion.
It is a pivotal turn, yeah, for sure. We're mentioning pivotal turns, and that's it. And that's exactly what Nicholas is going to do here. Forest Sealstone being used, an incredible card being tacked into the Mew VMAX decks because, your VMAX Pokemon now have a V-Star power. Wow, they're not even V-Stars and they get a power. Absolutely bananas. So it is going to be, like Wancho said, half of that Starburst. So search out any one card from the deck, and I believe it was the boss's orders there that Nicholas just played. I'm pretty sure that's what I just saw here. But is that what it was?
I guess it was, but opted not to play it as well as not Psychic Leaping. So maybe confident that this Mew can survive. I just noticed the big charm being attached to that Mew, so it does have 340 HP, so a little tough. Especially when you're running out of resources. And again, you're going to need the Choice Belt. You're going to need a couple of Scoop Up Nets. You need more Soul Rocks. If you want to take this knockout, this is it for Peter. He has to take this knockout. It would be absolutely...
No, yeah, that's going to be it. Unfortunately, 2 Luna Rocks going into the Lost Zone is such a tough place to be, as we mentioned. You just lack... You lack being able to recover enough to be able to run away with the game.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, that is what's going to happen in this game for Peter. But hey, that's 1 game down and potentially 2 more to go if Peter can re-establish with this deck and hopefully, get a little bit of a better situation here, being able to maybe bump the Lost City if it comes out. But hey, Nicholas played that absolutely flawlessly, capitalizing on the tech that was needed for this exact matchup.
Yeah, we were talking about, maybe he doesn't have the right tech. Aerodactyl's not really going to do anything. Path to the Peak isn't, but we failed to see that he actually plays 2 of those Lost Cities, especially for the, if I had to imagine, the Reggie matchup.
I was going to say Reggie, yeah.
It works just as well here. It's the exact same concept. Single prize attackers that are powered up from energy from the discard pile, nonetheless.
True.
So it's similar. It's very, very similar.
Yeah, mini Reggie list here right now. The Lunatone Soul Rock.
Yeah. So Nicholas, definitely is prepared, and I just have to give him props. Great turn. Identifying Lost Cities, the key to the game. Then you know what? I'm going to protect that Lost City by limiting what Peter can play with. By playing that Judge, only 4 cards. Didn't get the bump, and I was able to run away with it.
Absolutely. Here we go. We're jumping into our game 2 between these players. Nicholas having taken game 1 now in our Swiss round 7, but we have a lot more game to be played over here on Nicholas's side, which means, since Peter decides who gets to go first or second, Peter opts to go second, which I'm not super surprised with there. For this deck.
It's not something you see every day, like opting to go second, but because it's so easy to really get an attack off, might as well get one very early.
And to be able to play a supporter too is definitely a huge plus for this deck here. Nicholas, of course, no supporter being played because Nicholas is going first.
Instead of a supporter, though, they just get to draw a couple of times.
They get to draw plenty of times as well. They get to establish their board as much as possible. They don't get to attack, but hey, it's honestly also scary letting your opponent go first, because then you're staring down at almost a completely established board here, and that's pretty spooky to look at, especially if you don't know if you're going to have a great start or a not so optimal start. But here we go. Nicholas is going to start churning away into the stack with those Fusion Strike systems.
That's a lot of power tablets in hand. Might be tough to thin. No, it looks like Nicholas just gonna dump the power tablets, but maybe doesn't really need it in this matchup.
Yeah, you're doing quite a significant amount of damage. And honestly, that's what we need to see from Nicholas' side of the field. We just need to see overpowering happen. Nicholas has to go fast, which, Mew VMAX is equipped to do so, and just overpower Peter completely. Before Peter can get anything established, Nicholas needs to be taking several knockouts to be able to just wrap up a nice quick 2-0. So yeah, getting the Forest Seal Stone down here, thinned out of the hand and onto the field as well. We're going in with another Fusion Strike system. This will be the 3rd for the turn. Of course, you draw up to as many Fusion Strike Pokemon that are in play at the current moment. So yeah, having a full hand here, still things that could be played, but it's just going to keep the hand and pass over to Peter.
Yeah.
I'm hoping here Peter can get an explosive turn, because I want to see this Lunatone Soul Rock deck pop off, even though it used to be, my most hated deck, honestly.
Well, let's hope here that Peter can find as many support Pokemon as Nicholas. Again, Nicholas just able to get the slew of Genesects and the Mew already in play. Peter just has to do the exact same thing. And with the Battle VIP Pass, that should be fairly easy.
Not 1, but 2 Battle VIP Pass coming down here for Peter.
So much value.
Peter, you're giving us a game here. I love to see it. I guess too, when you play a deck like this, Wancho, you got to play those artworks, right?
Oh yeah,
you got to bling it
100%.
out. This is your pet deck right here.
A pet deck that, again, you've been able to get to a 5-0-1.
That's incredible.
At this point, I'd be framing those Soul Rocks after the
yes, exactly. Yeah, this isn't a 5-0-1, at a local tournament or casual play with friends. This is a regional championship that Peter is here with a Lunatone Soul Rock deck and just taking things down. Of course, we do have that Radiant Greninja coming onto the field as well for Peter, which means we can see some more draw from that. That's just the perfect Pokemon.
It's the
for
perfect
this
Pokemon.
deck.
Is that, exactly. With the Conceal Cards ability, you get to discard an energy, which that's exactly where you want the energy to be, in the discard pile.
Well, that one was off the trekking shoes there, that energy hitting the discard pile. But yes, like you said, Wancho, that's where you want your energy to be, is in the discard pile. And yeah, here we go.
The 3rd Battle VIP Pass in hand.
Wow. Didn't even have to use it here. We're going to see the professor's research. So Peter is going to have a giant hand of 7 cards now off that research to work with. And we're going to see that energy starting to be accelerated here. Another one, of course, can go into the discard pile here off of that Radiant Greninja, which is what we're going to see. Discard an energy, draw into another 2 cards, easy peasy. And then we're going to re-accelerate that
You haven't
energy.
attached for turn yet.
Nope. And I believe there's 1 in hand, so...
Oh, but sometimes you can just use the scoop up net, pick up that Radiant Greninja. Now you can conceal cards once
Even
again.
better.
Yeah, so much value there.
On point.
And again, the energy in the discard pile is just as good as attached. If the Soul Rock gets at least 3, that's quite enough. 150 damages. Oh, but he could get the knockout. If he gets attached on 4 turn, that's 180. In my mind, I thought he was.
Right.
In my mind, I thought he was staring at Mew VMAX.
Yeah, with that choice spell.
2 prizes on the first turn.
Peter Demartino showing us why this deck has been the pick for this event and playing that absolutely flawlessly, taking 2 prize cards on turn 1 here on Peter's side, and I suppose that's why Peter wanted to go second.
Exactly. He knows exactly how to play his deck, but unfortunately, Nicholas does as well. We do see the velocity just being slammed right down. He has an Ultra Ball as well. He's going to draw a couple of cards. If I had to guess, going to look for that judge once again.
Yeah, Nicholas knows the strategy here. I mean, it worked out so well in game 1, he might as well run it back. We're going to see the disruption. We're going to see the Lost City. And if Peter's not able to bump that stadium, we could see things play out pretty unfortunately. And the other thing Nicholas has on their side, too, is that Forest Seal Stone.
Yes.
So, I mean, like you said, there's 2 copies, I believe, of the Lost City
yes,
in the
2.
deck. So, I mean, if it gets bumped, you just research it out, you know what I mean? you research out of the deck with a Forest Seal Stone and could potentially just play another one.
Exactly.
So that's a little bit scary.
Maybe that's why Peter here is opting to play a little bit more aggressively. Taking 2 prizes early means he's technically 2 attacks away from winning. In the best case scenario, right? You get 4 Soul Rocks, attach 4 energy, attach 1 from hand. That's a knockout. That's 180 damage. That's another knockout on a Mew.
Yeah.
If you can set up a Soul Rock, get 2 Boss's Orders, you win the game. You know, maybe you don't need 4 Lunatones.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many strategies with these 1 prize decks that it's kind of just, you know, avoid the big, giant, bulky Pokemon and just target down the weaker Pokemon like that Genesect V as well. With just 190 HP. So yeah, if Peter's able to get just enough damage to take these prize cards, I mean, we could see this game going the opposite way here in our game 2. But here we go. On Nicholas's side of the field, we saw the Cram hit a heads here, and they're going straight into a judge.
Very important judge here. Can he draw outs? There's a lot of outs here. It could be energy, it could be even bumping the stadium wouldn't feel too bad either. You do see the energy, so he should be able to.
Yeah, I think I see research in hand.
All right. So not a bad judge. A lot better than the last game for sure.
Yes.
But again, I just have to give it up to Peter. It's not every day you see a deck outspeed Mew VMAX.
I know, absolutely wild to see there. But that Lunatone, a nice measly 90 HP there on that Lunatone. So going straight into the Lost Zone, of course, that Lost City is still here in play. Peter benching a Soul Rock down.
So now he can accelerate. He can accelerate 4 energy from the discard pile for free.
Yeah, lone Lunatone doing work out here for sure. But still, it is scary, definitely, to see a Lunatone hitting the Lost Zone. You don't want it there. You want to enter discard pile so you can just search it back out of the discard pile with Rescue Carrier, and you're back at it again, hitting consistently, and that is the key to this deck, getting consistent knockouts or at least damage down on Peter's side of the field. Hisuian Heavy Ball, of course, not going to search anything out of the prize cards on Peter's side. There was no basic Pokemon in there, but still getting another look at the prize cards is crucial to be like, okay, I know what I still have here. Let me shuffle them back up. And straight into Professor's research. Of course, that was the research we saw off of the judge that Nicholas initiated. Tracking Shoes is going to discard that boss's order.
But replaced with a Serena, pretty much same effect at this point.
True. Accurate.
I was doing the math in my head here. I was thinking, is it possible for this Lunatone to take a knockout on a Mew VMAX? It's going to take 10 energy. Because it's 30
Wow.
plus 30. If you have 10, you're doing 330, which
Lots of scoop up decks.
you're going to need quite a bit for sure. So I don't think that's necessarily
Well,
a
there's
possibility.
4. Oh,
So how many-
yeah. I mean, at least even if there is not 10 on there, which I guess would be the knockout, as you said, Wancho. I mean, that's still a really large amount
That's
of
big
damage.
damage. 180 damage. Again, if he had a
From
gust.
a little rock, from a 90 HP Pokemon. Like, oh my gosh. All right, here we go, though. So again, that Lost City is still on the field here, and Nicholas just rolled another heads off of that Cramomatic. So the dice has been in Nicholas's favor so far in this game.
Yes. You know, sometimes you don't have to draw what you need for if you can just flip for it.
Yes, the Crockpot Cram coming in here.
And if I had to guess here, Nicholas, now might be the time to Psychic Leap. If this Mew VMAX does go down, that would leave Peter with just one prize remaining. That's a boss away from winning. That means he doesn't need all 4 Lunatones.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think exactly what Nicholas needs to find here.
Yeah, if you can Psychic Leap, you know, with the damage output to also take a knock, that is huge. We're going to see the Pal Pad coming out here, which is going to take 2 Judge from the discard pile and reshuffle them into the deck. We're seeing a Big Charm coming down onto the Mew VMAX. There's first power tab on Nicholas's side of the field. But yeah, eliminating all of that damage off of the Mew VMAX would be huge.
Absolutely huge. Again, he had to work very, very hard for that 180 damage. We're going to see a Lost Vacuum there, just getting rid of their own Forest Seal Stone.
There's still one on the field.
There's a second one. Not too bad. For a minute, I thought he was going to get rid of the Lost City.
Oh, no way. No way. That's a pivotal card here. But yeah, being able to thin the hand down if you can. So Lost Vacuum for, you know.
Just to thin the hand.
Yeah, just to thin my hand. It's no big deal.
And again, even if they don't draw into it necessarily, they still have access to
Forest Seal Stone.
Forest Seal Stone. And yeah, they're not even going to draw.
And look at that. It was the card right on the bottom there. So quick grab here on Nicholas' side of the field. 2 power tablets is going to be enough to both get the knockout and Psychic Leap back into the deck. So I said it before, we don't usually see Psychic Leap, but hey, this is the perfect matchup to pull out that move and just showcases how powerful Mew VMAX is. Just copying moves and jumping around, jumping back into the deck here. Absolutely amazing turn there for Nicholas. So a little bit lackluster as far as just taking one prize card. It was like all that work to take one prize card, but hey,
but you're taking one prize card and healing.
Yeah, and it goes into the Lost Zone. So it's like so many things just happen there, and it looks lackluster, but it was the opposite of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, very, very big turn. Very smart here as well, promoting the Genesect V instead of the Mew V. The fact that Genesect V has 190 HP, yes, you have to pay 2 to retreat it, as opposed to like Mew V has a free retreat. But that 10 HP could go a long way, right? It's going to take, I believe, at least 1 extra energy to take this knockout.
Yep.
So let's see. Raihan, a great card to play here. Accelerates energy, gets a card from the deck as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if this Genesect V goes down this turn. And then Peter would just be a boss and a couple of energy acceleration and another Lunatone. Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah, but it's get a card, any card. But the question is, what is that card? And I feel like it almost has to be a stadium bump.
Oh, stadium bump.
Because I don't know. I mean, like, how else does this work if you don't have any Lunar Rock?
I mean, there's 2 in the Lost Zone, 1 in the field.
Yeah.
There's technically still 1 more.
I know, but it's scary, though. I don't know. I don't play Lunar Rock.
There it is.
So
It's already in his hand.
That's true.
If you can win with 4, then you don't need to bump the stadium.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the card off of the Raihan, but hey, look at this. Those soul rocks are coming in here to place those energy, recharge another huge damage attack that we're going to see from that Lunatone.
Exactly. That's 180 damage right now with 5 energy attached, but because of that scoop up net, Soul Rock goes back into hand. Wouldn't be surprised. Just put it back down. That means oh no, it's going to be the Lunatone.
Yeah, Lunatone. Okay.
All right, looks like he's going to have to attach from the hand. There it is. And that's a knockout on a Genesect.
Yep, that is a lot of energy that we just saw accelerated, and it is going to be enough, like Wancho said, for a knockout. Peter Demartino taking another 2 prize cards off of that Genesect V, going back down now to 2 prize cards left to take.
Very, very close game here.
Yeah.
I have to give it up to Peter.
You won't even need the stadium bump.
Yeah, you just realizing, you know what, I
So
have a
good.
game plan. I have a game plan. I don't need more than 4. I'm going to work with that. You know, I'm not going to play around the Lost City. I'm going to play right through it.
Yo, that would be like the most boss move, honestly. I don't care about your Lost City. Let me just take this dub here.
I just need 4. That's all I'm, that's all I'm going to work with. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's awesome to see. All right, Nicholas. Ooh, the luck is starting to turn now. That is going to be a Tails off of a Cramomatic. So no search into the deck for another card.
Ooh.
But we're going to see another judge here from Nicholas. So both players are going to shuffle their hands and draw into 4 cards each.
Yeah, this is
and
a very, very big judge.
That Lunatone coming down was a pretty solid move from Peter's side of the field. Otherwise, it would have been back in the deck potentially.
Exactly. And but again, that's his last Lunatone. This is his last home. The 4 cards in hand have to be perfect. It has to be enough. It has to be at least an energy to attach for turn, ways to get more energy onto the Lunatone, and a gust. It has to be right here, right now. Very smart here for Nicholas to evolve the Mew V into the Mew V Max right now. You don't want to bench another Mew V. You want to make Peter work for it here. And yeah, again, just leaving 190 HP. That's what he has to hit, plus a gust. Can Peter do it?
Can Peter do it is the question. 3 Lunatone into the Lost Zone, but can Peter pull it off with this lone last Lunatone? That is what the question is. Of course, we're working off of a judge now, and now a Pokestop, which is going to bump that Lost City, allow Peter to get some more draw out of the Pokestop potentially this
he
turn.
drew a research, but
Trek
again,
and choose.
You want Gust this turn. Sorry, I got excited by the research, but then...
usually you are excited by the research, but...
Especially after a judge. But I think this has to be the turn you get the win.
It does have to be, yeah.
Nicholas,
absolutely.
again, plays a second Lost City. And that's not good. Oh, there's
the Serena, okay. We both just like, we're like, oh, what? We're going to see the
Dream
Serena.
is alive?
Yeah, I didn't even see that in hand. So that
Pokestop?
must have been off of the judge. There was a Serena. We're seeing the Pokestop, all 3 of those cards not being item cards going into the discard pile now here for Peter. So another energy, Cape of Toughness now onto that Lunatone here. And there we go, 3 Soul Rock drawing out these energy from the discard pile.
Okay, right now that is doing 30, 60, 90, 120. Still quite a bit off. It's going to be a hit.
No, it's just going to be a hit. But hey, if Nicholas doesn't have a way to pivot out of this Genesect V, has Peter just bought themselves a turn? No, it's going to be the switch. Oh, no.
But again, it's
still,
Dream's still alive as long as the stadium does not get bumped.
Lost City is not out at this point. Oh my gosh, this is huge, Wancho. I am on the edge of my seat here right now. So Lost City is not out, but there is potential still to get a Lost City out, which would be terrible because Peter does not want this last Lunatone going into the Lost Zone. It needs to go into the discard pile for Peter to still be able to rescue this game. So this Roxanne is huge. Of course, Nicholas going to be able to draw into 6 cards, whereas Peter, only being down to 2 prize cards left, is only gonna get 2.
Yes, and again, a lot riding on this Lunatone. If this Lunatone gets to the Lost Zone, the game is as good as done. No other attacker. I didn't quite see it yet in the hand, but again, Mew.
We're thinning.
Mew just doing Mew things here. If Mew is known for one thing in the Pokemon TCG, it's drawing cards, but that's not gonna help draw. Aerodactyl. So is Nicholas must be out of Fusion Strike Pokemon here. Again, Fusion Strike system reads that you can draw up to as you can
as
draw
many cards as fusion Pokemon in play.
Yes, and unfortunately, Aerodactyl does attach a double turbo onto the Aerodactyl.
I mean, needs to get cards out of hand. It still has not used a single Fusion Strike system, so it just needs to draw into as many cards as possible here. So that is going to be our first Fusion Strike system. Again, yeah, it's only up to 4 total in hand here. Oh, wow, it's going to be the Path to the Peak.
Path to the Peak.
Which means...
the dream is alive.
Yes, the dream is indeed alive. You can only play 1 stadium per turn, and it's not going to be that Lost City on Nicholas' side. It's going to be that Path to the Peak, which means Peter is still in the game here. Of course, that Lunatone is in the discard pile now. So we're still going to need to see a lot from Peter's side of the field, and unfortunately, Peter is working off of a Roxanne, which means there was only 2 cards being drawn, and then 1 for turn, of course, as well.
Exactly, and the Path to the Peak here, very big as well. You know, you don't see many Pokemon, there's no Pokemon V, excuse me, on Peter's side of the field, but Path to the Peak also shuts off Radiant Greninja, and after a Roxanne, that's exactly what you want to do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, having outs to a little bit more draw, but yeah, shutting down that Radiant Greninja is huge. So great time for Nicholas to do that.
Yes, again, both players now down to their last 2 prizes. Yes, Nicholas technically can't win the next turn because there's no way to take 2 prizes off of Peter's board. But again, unfortunately, there's nothing in Peter's hand. It's going to be a pass. That means the next turn is going to determine it all.
The Roxanne coming in clutch here on Nicholas' side of the field.
Ooh, we see the Lost City. Do you take it here? You can't draw it, though. The Path of the Peak is up here.
Yes, yeah, you can't draw it, but hey, you can top deck it if it's at the top of the deck here, and that's what exactly is going to happen. Rotom Phone putting that Lost City at the top of the deck, but hey, there's only 1 prize card left to be taken on Nicholas' side of the field anyway, because we're seeing another knockout there. Solrock hitting the discard pile. Ooh. Here we go, we see a Gust.
There's a Gust, and there's a switch, and that's game. Nicholas Hacquebord takes the game here. Is essentially... He's in day 2.
Yes, absolutely. Nicholas Hacquebord going into day 2 here with a 2-0. I'm sure not expecting a Lunatone